In this video, I'm going to show you how to release a song with a remixer or a featured artist here in DistroKid. Let's go. DistroKid is an online distribution platform that allows you to release an unlimited number of songs, EPs, and albums for just one yearly subscription. In fact, you can save yourself 7% off your first year using the link down in the description. However, what if you want to release a song that has a featured artist or is a remix by another artist, but also link it to their profile? It sounds like it's a difficult thing, but DistroKid make it easy. Let's show you how. Step one is to click on the Upload Music button here from your main screen, and this will take you into this, which is your standard song, EP, or album upload screen. I've showed this a number of times before. You can find out more information at my DistroKid FAQ, which is also down in the description. Let's quickly add our options here. It is one song, a single. You can have multiple songs if it's an EP or an album. Has it been released previously? No, by the definition of what we're doing here, because it is a remix version. You'd use this if you were, say, re-releasing a song that you'd taken down and then we're adding back up. We're going to go no to that one. We could update to the ultimate plan here. I currently have the Musician Plus plan, which I think is adequate for me and maybe adequate for most of you folks as well. Artist or band name. Now, I have two artist names because I have the Musician Plus plan. This one is going to be under Pete Johnson. Here's the good news. I've already released using DistroKid, so I've already been added in Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Instagram, Facebook. I'm everywhere, man. Release date. Now, this one you can either just choose today's date or you can set a future release date. And as it says there, at least 1 week will give you chances to submit to playlists and the like. So because we're here in April, let's make this May the 4th. Yes, May the 4th be with you as our release date for this track. Now, you do need the Musician Plus plan to set a release date. For Spotify, let's just make the release time at 8 p.m. That sounds about right there. And time synchronization, we'll leave that in the listener's time zone. Pre-orders, let's let folks pre-order it. Again, we can pre-order it from, say, tomorrow's date. Record label is Studio Live Today Records. It's in English. The genre for this one, let's go alternative. That's probably the best genre. And secondary genre, I reckon we'll go with rock. For the album artwork, Thomas has given me his updated version of my cover, which is in here. Let's click on that one and add it. It needs to be a JPEG, and I go over album art requirements in another video, which you can find in the description. Now comes the important part. If you watch nothing else, make sure you pay attention now. We need to add in the song title, but we need to add in just the title. We don't want to add featured artists. We don't want to add remix. That's all done in the next step. I'll say it again because it's so important. Just put the title of your song in this section. And here's where we add our remixes or our featured artists. So now we can click on yes here. Now, if it's a featured artist, you can leave it there and add your featured artist. So we'd put in here Thomas Christ, but we actually want to change this because Thomas isn't a feature on this. He's actually the remixer. So we click the drop down, we change that to remixer, and now that's been added. If we have additional featured artists, guess what? You hit the plus button and you continue adding them again. Let's just assume we did have a featured artist on here and it was Jade Star, just to show you how this works with multiple. You can see there we can have multiple, and now down here, it'll actually add in the featuring and the remix in the correct format with the right brackets. You don't have to do a thing, and you can see that the artists there underneath are all three artists as opposed to just me. Now, even though Jade was the drummer on this project, just for simplicity, we'll go with this remix by Thomas Christ for this version, and we'll maybe do some featured artists in the future. This is the normal version, and there you go. There's the title preview. It tells you exactly what it's going to look like there if it was a radio edit, or if it was an other version here, say a special version, or there were multiple remixed versions by the same or different remixes, you can actually add that in there. We'll just go normal version here to keep it simple for this one. Now it's time to upload an audio file. So we'll click here, we'll add Thomas's WAV file. Make sure you're uploading a full high resolution WAV file. Stay away from M4A, MP3, or any compressed audio. If you want to know why, once again, check out my DistroKid FAQ in the description. No to Dolby Atmos. I did write the song there. We put in my real name here because we do need to have a real name as opposed to your artist name in that section there. No explicit lyrics in this one. No, it's clean and always has been. It does contain lyrics. Let the streaming services decide the preview time. We can change that later. Leave it at 99 cents here. That is a Musician Plus only option that you have there. Now, here's the next important part. If you only listen to 2 parts of this video about remixing and featured artists, this is the part to listen to. If the artist that you're working with is brand new and hasn't released anything before, you need to click down here. No, they don't have any artist profiles. But because Thomas has released a lot of music, he's also a DistroKid user, I'm going to go yes. But what I need to do now to make sure this links to his correct profile is find his Spotify artist URI, his Apple artist URL, and his YouTube music artist URL. Sounds like a lot of work, but it's actually pretty simple, and there's little help options here to help us find it. So let's work through it together. Let's start with Spotify. We'll click on Help Me Find It. This takes us into our handy dandy help article that you can read in your own time there. I happen to have already read it and I know how to find it. So let's dive in and get it. Let's dive in here to Spotify and I'm going to search for Thomas Christ. Here's my first problem. It doesn't find it. We've got Thomas the Tank Engine instead. A couple of things we can do. We can put Thomas Christ here in quotation marks. That's going to narrow it down. It's still not finding it. So what we might need to do is put the creator, which is one of Thomas's releases. And there you go. Now what we can do is click here on the artist name under that release now that we've found it. And it's going to take us in to Thomas's profile. From here, we can click on the 3 dots here and under share here, you need to do something a bit funky here. You need to hold down the Alt or the Option key, Alt on Windows, Option on Mac, because we don't want the link. We want this one, the URI. So hold down that key and then click, and that's going to copy to your clipboard the URI, which is the thing we need back over on DistroKid. Come back in here, click there, hit your Command or your Control V, and there it is. It's got to be in that format, that Spotify artist, and then the artist ID, and that'll make sure it links to the correct Thomas Christ in Spotify. Apple Music, a little bit easier because we just need a URL. You can click the help article there to find it, but I know how to do it anyway. Let's go to Apple Music here, and under Thomas Christ, we're going to click on him. We've searched him. We've found him as an artist here. Once again, go over here to your 3 dots, click on those, and this time we just want to share and copy link. This will copy a link to Thomas's Apple Music page. Back to DistroKid, click in, hit the paste button, and there you go. You can tell that it's the right one. If we undo that, just see how it's got the music.apple.com there, and it's got that same format. As soon as we hit that, it's got the exact same format. And you can do the same here with your Spotify to make sure that it has the right format. What about YouTube Music artist URL? Yep, you guessed it, exact same process. We'll go to YouTube Music. We're going to search for Thomas Christ and see if we can find him a little easier. There he is. So we'll click on Thomas and come in here. Again, it's always under these 3 dots to do your sharing. Click it, click share, and click copy. That's going to copy the channel, and you can see the format there. We come back here, and there it is. There's the format. When we paste over the top, looks exactly like it looked in the original one. So that's got those 3 in there, and that's just going to help when DistroKid send this to all these platforms to make sure that it links to the correct Thomas Christ profile. The final step is to scroll down here and check out all the extras. I cover these in detail in other videos, so we're not going to go with any of the extras for this release right now, but you can definitely check those out if you want to. What you do need to do is click all of these check boxes. Hit the pause button now if you want to read what all these are. I'm going to go ahead and tick them. Oh, I did notice this one here, non-standard capitalization. That's okay. It's because I didn't put a capital for in. The whole in of using capitalization is kind of interchangeable, but hey, we'll find out what happens with that. It should be fine. If Apple Music want to convert it, they can. We're all good to go. It's time to hit the continue button. And boom. Pete from the future here. So we did work this out in the end. What we needed to do was make sure that we actually clicked other here and changed this, added some sort of version here because it didn't like it when it was just work in progress with the Thomas Christ remix. As soon as we added something else there, that was what actually made the difference and allowed us to release this remix. Okay, experimentation time. We've changed it from the normal version to other, and we've put in here what Thomas actually called this, which is the further progress version. Let's see if this is going to make any difference when we try to submit. Looking better, album artwork going up, and the track is uploading. So we may need to monitor this one, and I will actually check and see how this release goes before I release this video, because I want to make sure I'm given the correct information. But interestingly, it wasn't until I actually came here and changed it from the original version to a special version that it actually worked. And there we have it. We are all good to go. At least we are for now, because we'll need to track this and make sure that we don't get anything sent back from any of the stores. So I'll do that now in the background. Through the magic of editing, you'll find out how this went in just a little while. We are back. It's a few days later, and my t-shirt's not the only thing that's changed. Check this out. Yes, the status of this is now green light. We're ready to go. Let's click in and take a look at this. So there it is. It says the single was successfully processed and delivered to stores. So we're not all the way there, but it's a good sign. The artwork is good. The song is good. Everything is good. Let's jump in and I'll show you the emails and the behind the scenes stuff and just reiterate what I actually did to make sure that this worked. Let's go through the emails we got. This one says that the song was successfully processed. There's the full name of the song, which we mentioned before. It needs to be this further progress version remix. And good news, we verified the audio format, the song, and everything is good. So that's the song covered. Let's jump to the next email. And here we have the artwork. Yes, Thomas did a good job. The artwork is all good as well. That's been confirmed. Bleep, bleep, bloop indeed. Next up, we have this one, which tells us about the pre-save page and the hyperfollow. So yes, we can actually click this link right here in the email, and this is my hyperfollow page. Now, I've covered this in detail. I can jump in and set this up, and I will. By the time you watch this, we'll have some more stuff in here, links to me and to Thomas and other things. But yeah, it's now available on the 30th of May as a pre-order. Fingers crossed that everything else goes to plan, but everything looks on track from this end. And finally, the really important one. It's been submitted to stores. So not only did it pass all of DistroKid's checks, but they sent it out to all of these places. So could something go wrong with any one of these now? Sure, but I'm a positive guy and I've used DistroKid for a while. Even though it's the first time I've done a remix, I've got my fingers, my toes, and every other part of my body crossed to hope that this will actually work okay. But again, we can use the button here to go back into DistroKid to check all the details here. Everything's looking good. Releases on the 30th of May, and check it out. I've got a link down below. If you're watching before the 30th of May, you can pre-save it. You can check it out. If you're after the 30th of May, you can jump in, you can stream, download, do what you want with this song. That was a really cool thing. So I learned something from this process. I hope you learned something too. A featured artist or a remix, a few things that we need to keep in mind when we do that, but it's all been done now. It's out there in the world, and thanks to DistroKid, we can share our music with the world. Check out the links in the description if you want to save yourself 7% off your first year on any DistroKid plan. Check out the song. It's linked down there as well, and I'll see you next time.